Feels more less comfortable.
It's really interesting how it was named not after like the founder, first president, but the first like benefactor who funded the first building.
Yeah. So what's your name?
My name is Miracle.
Your name is Miracle? I love that name. What's your name?
Jakaya.
Jakaya. Okay. I'm Ariana.
We got a friend named Ariana.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Is she cute like me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you all like it here?
Yeah, it's okay. Straight.
It's fair.
Are you guys freshmen?
I'm a freshman, yeah.
When did you guys move in?
August the 9th.
Okay, so you've been here
That's
for a while.
early.
Yeah.
The brick too, but it's like.
Oh, this is y'all's bell tower right here?
Yes, that's the bell tower right there.
Oh, that's cool.
I like it.
It's like,
What's this?
yeah, like the people that went here and like the years they graduated and stuff. Like class of 1953.
Is this just like notable people who went here?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So y'all have like church service and stuff here?
Yeah, we have cases, but that happens in the gym because it's like all the freshmen and the transfer students. Y'all dress up in our little suits and stuff.
Oh,
that's fun.
We go in there and sit for like an hour and a half. And this is our chapel right here. I don't know if it's open.
He's giving high fives.
Do y'all mind me asking what this project is?
So this project is about us inserting ourselves into places where we wouldn't normally be. So for us, that would be an HBCU. Since we go to a PWI, we're normally not taking class at HBCUs. So part of our project is to come to an HBCU and see how different life can be.
Don't know the acronyms. HBCU is Historically Black College or University, and PWI is primarily white institution.
Yeah.
I think they know.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah.
I think they know.
Okay.
These are our classrooms.
I think
There's a classroom
might
in here?
be most of the classrooms could hold like 25 to 30 people.
Oh, cool.
Depends on the class. This is my favorite building.
This is your favorite?
This is why this is my favorite building.
Oh my gosh. So you know where these are from?
African hut. I think they're like made and they're shipped down here or something.
So you guys have a mosque on campus?
I don't know. Lots of older buildings like around it.
A lot of like new buildings that stay, like
Yeah.
Natalie and the library, and they.
Are your beds lofted? Like bunk beds almost?
No, we have single beds, but we have bed risers.
Gotcha.
Do you guys have desks and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is our boys' room.
Oh, this is the boy?
Yeah. It's bigger than the girls' room because it has
I like the fountain.
it has
Yeah,
a
me too.
clinic.
It's such more like a nice feel to it than state.
Yeah, definitely feels less sterile than state, I'd say.
Yeah.
Oh,
we can show you. It's like it's underground. What's the place? We got a bookstore. Our bookstore is bigger than ours.
It smells good in here.
Yeah, we only have one.
Yeah, me too.
Garden. That's a color? Yeah. What made you guys want to go to an HBCU?
I'm a mama's girl, so like I ain't want to be like that far. Like now my mom can just like, 45 minutes every other week.
I was going to
So do you think your college experience would be different if you went to a PWI? Like how much do you think would be different?
Nothing, because I'll probably still be in my dorm, doing what we do now, go get food.
We would interact with like more people. Like all the people here, they're like they stuck up, like they think they better than everybody else. They stare like they ain't seen white people.
Yeah. We're going to the Pope House now.
So welcome to the house of Manassa Thomas Pope. He was the first licensed African-American doctor in the state of North Carolina. He attended Shaw University. He was at Leonard Medical School, which was the first four-year medical institution in the state of North Carolina. It's during this time that he meets and marries his first wife, Lydia. She is pictured in this photo. And so they together moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, where he actually goes and founds two businesses. The first of which being one of the first African-American pharmacies in the city. The second being advertised in this great blow-up. It was called the People's Benevolent and Relief Association of North Carolina. It's one of the first African-American insurance agencies in the state. And it's during this time when he's in Charlotte, North Carolina, that the Spanish-American War breaks out. And he decides to enlist, where he serves as the, help me with this because I always do it wrong.
First Lieutenant, Second Assistant Surgeon of the 3rd Regiment.
There we go. Him and Lydia decide that it's time to change scenery once again. So they move to Raleigh, they choose this spot, and this house is built in 1901. And I believe Lydia makes it for about a year, and then she passes away from tuberculosis. So then about a year after that, he meets his second wife, Delia. And they get married about a year later, and they have two daughters, Ruth and Evelyn. So Ruth is pictured in photo 14. She is the younger daughter. Evelyn is older in 15. In 1919, himself and two of his friends all decide to run for public office in 1919. Pope, obviously, for the mayoral spot. You could probably tell from the total votes on the end that they didn't really get that close. But there is a quote from Langer that said they weren't really trying to. They wanted to run to send the message that you can run, that that's something you can do here in Raleigh, and that you should vote and flex your political muscles. What do you guys think this COL is denoting?
Colonel.
It denotes colored. So most people think it's Colonel, but no, this denoted colored. And it was actually a drive by a lot of the local newspapers because they were scared that people were going to walk into the voting booths and see a name and vote for it, not knowing who that person was, or more importantly, what they looked like. That said, we also have this very expressive political cartoon that was popular during the time. You can probably get most of the vibe from where you guys are standing. What you might not be able to read is under it's captioned as "The Vampire That Hangs Over North Carolina."
So that was actually an ad read in the News Observer by a gentleman named Josephus Daniels. He actually lived catty corner to Dr. Pope. And of course, the same there, dark cloud is hanging over over the city, or over the state.
Did Pope and Josephus ever meet? Like, I figured that'd be some conflict there, living close enough.
Well, I'm pretty sure they knew of each other. However, you know, I'm not sure of the extent as to if they would have actually met in the streets or anything like that. But I'm pretty sure, being that Dr. Pope was considered to now be a part of the upper middle class, that his name would have been swirled around somewhere.
Otherwise, we have his desk. The interesting part is the knowledge that's on it. So currently on that top shelf is actually some books. If you look at them close enough, it's actually pleasure reading. On the one end is Robinson Crusoe, just to show you what kind of books are up there. We actually believe that they're Evelyn's pleasure reading books.
So as you all are looking around, this room in particular was actually Evelyn and Ruth's room. They shared this as children. And of course, as Brandon pointed out, they did live in the house until the latter part of their lives. Of course, they did go on to college. Both of them attended Shaw University. And both of them actually went on to get their master's degrees. Evelyn got her master's degree in library science, while Ruth got hers in home economics. So another reason why we have the home is because Evelyn actually was approached by a family friend and asked if she ever thought about starting like a foundation or like a nonprofit in order for people to be able to know a little bit more about her father, about her family. She decided to kind of oblige with that, and they created the Pope House Foundation. And with that being said, of course, in their will, they ended up turning the house over to the city. So that's how we ended up acquiring the Pope House in 2012.
What do you guys think of like all the construction going on across the street?
For one, it keeps visitors away. That's one thing, because there's nothing but construction happening around downtown Raleigh. Of course, gentrification is another huge thing that's happening around downtown Raleigh, that we're having an issue with people not wanting to not necessarily visit, but also to just not noticing that we're here. Where a lot of the businesses that were on Hargett Street, which was considered Black Main Street, in Raleigh, are now, of course, parking lots.
And did they push people out to do that?
Yep.
Hopefully on a lighter note,
Yeah.
how you all came to work here?
I'm a history major, of course. You know, Raleigh's only about 30 minutes away, and I knew nothing really about Raleigh other than Shaw and St. Albans. So I kind of ended up making my way here, and I delved into not only the history of the Pope House, but just the history of the neighborhood and Black business in Raleigh.
I'm at State. I wasn't really a big North Carolina history person, but I can tell you I've enjoyed it immensely since being here.
So I'm a history major too. I wanted to do public history. I didn't want to become a professor because I didn't want to stare at students. The students stare at me and not know what they're doing.
Like Brandon, I go to NC State, happen to be a history major. It's just 1 or 2 jobs that I work, and hopefully I'll pick whichever one, is the most fruitful for me.
Has learning about the life of Dr. Pope and the history of this area affected any of you personally in some way?
For one, it gives you more of the humanistic side of people. You tend to look at history as like you just kind of come in and you're doing a tour, you're like, oh, this is great, but you forget that they are people just like, you and me.
It makes me want to just hold on to the house more because Black history in any city literally gets erased by just, the knocking down of a house or the turning into a parking lot. Because this is just one of many instances all over the United States where things get knocked down, but this was originally a Black neighborhood.
Yes, I felt like I've been impacted because this is, I can tell you, the first history that I've done that I feel like is important. Like the rest of it is good and stuff, but like it was self-chosen. This is impactful, important history. So that definitely had a change for me at least.
I would just say with you guys going to state and you guys going to central, has this impacted your experience just from working here? Like, have you noticed anything different?
I guess you notice the difference in the culture. You know, HBCU culture is totally different from PWI and that. But I think that for one, that the majority of PWIs provide a community for minorities anyway. But you know, the HBCU experience, like I said, is totally different from your experience at a PWI. I think it's a different sense of pride, I guess, when it comes to, I think for one, anybody getting an education is a sense of pride. But I think for historically black colleges, it's more of a sense of pride because it's something that you know that was built because of segregation. And you know that this was the only chance that people had to be able to have access to an education.
I heard you talking a lot about community and like fostering that connection between people just by being black and going to an HBCU. Is it that same, like, you're proud to be at state, but like the pride is a little bit deeper because you're black?
For sure, because you know, school like state, historically speaking, you're probably not welcome there. So to be there now is like, I feel like Dr. Pope a little bit. You might do some things just to, you know, show your pride. I'm of the idea that if I want to earn whatever I have, so it's no question of like affirmative action, anything of that sort. It's saying, I did this because I'm just as smart as you, if not more. It's interesting.
What's the biggest like noticeable like change in like that you saw from going from an HBCU to a WPI?
The biggest change, like I said, the amount of people and just knowing where to go and find the resources. Like you feel like you don't fit in that particular world until, like I said, until you find somebody who is kind of who you can relate to, because it's two different perspectives of it. And so we try to be able to find common ground when it comes to understanding one another. I think that for one, this kind of brings it all together and allows for, history does allow for people to understand one another and understand where their privileges lie. And where, you know, where you do and do not have privilege in a lot of ways. You have to be thankful for the things that you do and don't have, and be thankful for the things that you were given.